tomorrow on January 6th. I'm very excited. This is our 1776 moment.
My body camera captured the violence of the crowd. I was dragged from the line of officers. I heard someone scream, "I got one!" They began to beat me with what felt like hard metal objects.
You can't allow it to just transfer power peacefully.
I heard chanting from some in the crowd, "Kill him with his own gun." I said as loud as I could manage, "I've got kids."
We have a sea of people. If we flood the Capitol building, go inside.
I ended up on my hands and knees and blind. He yelled at me, shouting, "You will die on your knees."
The people who breached the Capitol on January 6th are being abused. When will the witch hunt come to an end?
One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd joined in screaming, "Boo!
You can't allow it to just transfer power the Capitol peacefully are being abused.
This is our 1776 moment.
The indifference is disgraceful. During the assault, I thought about using my firearm on my attackers, but I knew that if I did, I would be quickly overwhelmed. And that, in their minds, would provide them with the justification for killing me. So I instead decided to appeal to any humanity they might have. I said as loud as I could manage, "I've got kids." Thankfully, some in the crowd stepped in and assisted me. Those few individuals protected me from a crowd and inched me toward the Capitol until my fellow officers could rescue me. I was carried back inside. What happened afterwards is much less vivid. I had been beaten unconscious and remained so for more than 4 minutes. I know that Jimmy helped to evacuate me from the building and drove me to MedStar Washington Hospital Center, despite suffering significant injuries himself. At the hospital, doctors told me that I had suffered a heart attack, and I was later diagnosed with a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, and post-traumatic stress disorder. As my physical injuries gradually subsided and the adrenaline that had stayed with me for weeks waned, I've been left with the psychological trauma and the emotional anxiety of having survived such a horrific event. And my children continue to deal with the trauma of nearly losing their dad that day. What makes the struggle harder and more painful is to know so many of my fellow citizens, including so many of the people I put my life at risk to defend, are downplaying or outright denying what happened. I feel like I went to hell and back to protect them and the people in this room. But too many are now telling me that hell doesn't exist, or that hell actually wasn't that bad. The indifference shown to my colleagues is disgraceful.
Tear gas canisters were fired from the very stage on which Joe Biden will be inaugurated. But for Capitol Hill police officers, this was a losing battle.
This is exactly what was feared, but in no way is this a surprise. It has been fueled by the president's rhetoric, and it's increasingly clear this election has not healed the wounds. It has simply amplified them.
We followed the aggrieved and infuriated Trump supporters as they stormed the building.
I swear to see it there, and they just said these guys.
Through broken windows and doors they had forced open. And for a few heady moments they felt they had won a precious victory. They were now in the very heart of the congressional building.
What's the purpose of storming Congress itself?
Because they work for us. They don't get to steal it from us. They don't get to tell us we didn't see what we saw.
We respect the law. We were good people. The government did this to us. We were normal, good, law-abiding citizens, and you guys did this to us. We want our country back. We are protesting for our freedom right now. That's the difference.
What's the purpose of storming Congress?
How do I know that?
They reached and entered the Speaker's office itself. Although Nancy Pelosi and other lawmakers had already been evacuated to safety.
There you go, brother.
As we filmed, protesters.
I remember looking down and seeing this crowd like attacking Mike, and somebody from the crowd was dragging him up toward me. And I remember grabbing him and pulling him back behind me. And then once I knew that other officers were pulling him back, I turned back around to make sure nobody else was.
Yeah, I was just fully focused on doing everything that I could do to get these guys the hell out of my way and get them outside. And we started, like, we lost, a few feet before we started to somehow just gain traction and push them back.
Push them back!
I start to get pushed. The momentum of the officers from behind me keeps going forward.
Hey! I got one! I got an officer, what? Get him out of here! Get him fuck out of here!
Yep. This is the first time I realized, how big that crowd was. I mean, it was just, you see it just like you see it in the photographs of the day. It's just a sea of people and flags and, just the most surreal, optic imaginable. And on top of that, I'm trying to take that in and also, fight to stay alive. When I'm out in this crowd, like, I'm being assaulted from every direction. So I'm trying to, keep people away from my weapon. I'm trying to keep people away from me. I'm exhausted. And, it was not a good feeling.
You've been an officer for a long time. You've seen a lot of sketchy situations. Does anything remotely compare to this moment?
No. I've seen some things, and I never, ever once felt like I was not in control of what was happening. This was the first time I had experienced a situation in which I felt as though, there was very little I could do.
Let's talk about who these individuals are, because I want the American people to understand fully. I want every person that comes on CNN and defends these pardons to understand who these individuals were. They are Daniel Rodriguez, who applied a taser device to my neck while I was being restrained multiple times. Daniel Rodriguez admitted his conduct, pled guilty, and was sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison. He is now free. Kyle Young pled guilty, admitted that while I was being restrained, assaulted, and beaten, he attempted to remove my gun from its holster, all while individuals were telling him to kill me with my gun. Thomas Civic, who stripped me of my badge and radio, again, while I was being assaulted and restrained, and Albuquerque Cosper Head, who grabbed me around the neck, pulled me off a police line out into the crowd of these violent insurrectionists, allowing this assault to take place while he yelled out, "I've got one." These are violent criminals whose conduct on January 6th, many of whom pled guilty to and were sentenced to lengthy jail sentences. They are all now free. Make no mistake about it, I am less safe. My family is less safe because of what Donald Trump and the American people who supported him have done.